You see, one thing is that we don't own even the internet that we are all chasing today. One day we'll wake up and the internet is shut and all this history will be erased. But then when you visit Burkina today, even on these grounds that we stand today, was a day that Corporal Tipo, Sergeant Odate Lamte, them rose up to fight for their rights. And the history is not what we are seeing on the internet, but the history is where we are standing now. Reality. So when we come and see the roads, when we come and see the good schools, when we come and see the good drinking water, when we see the electricity running for 365 days, that is the history. And the next generation will remember that some people actually did something.
Kuma came. We are humans, we make mistakes, but we allowed the West to turn us against Assange. Yes. And we danced on top of his broken statues. And we celebrated when he was overthrown. He was all over the continent building what we know as the Casablanca Group, which was a Pan-African group, the first group to say United Africa now.
Ibrahim Traoré has actually understood himself and realized who he is, doing his responsibility or acting upon his responsibility of a son of the land. Majority of our people have not identified themselves yet, and all my advocacy, I have always been saying this, that identification of yourself is what would actually call the awareness of who we are, where we are going, and why we are where we are now. So when you identify that, then when you wake up and doing whatever Ibrahim Traoré is doing, you will see it as a different thing. Ibrahim Traoré is just living like the real African son, and that's it. Yeah, we have lost ourselves. We have, detached ourselves from the realities of who we are, and that is why the imperialists will always use certain tactics and misinformation and the material things to let us feel like the West is where we belong or where that is going to give us life and hope. But then, hey, the West is what it is because of the black, and the blacks, our land can be the better place that it used to be for our ancestors. If we identify who we are and begin to rise up to uphold it for the ancestors, and the next generation that will be coming after us would actually take it from where we left it to where we are going. And we should ask ourselves this question: are we ready to do it? A lot of people on social media right now, the platforms of African Real Revolution. I call it African Real Revolution because that is where you hear people say, we support it, we are ready to fight. But on the real battlefield, less than 100. Few, many are called. You see all these cameras, majority of them are not doing it because they want to send a message out. Majority of them are filming because they want to make money from social media. But we say this, whether making money or not making money, the message must reach forward. And when the message reaches the people, we want you to sit down and ask yourself, who I am or who am I as African? Who am I? People have lived on this land. They are gone. Today, ask yourself if you are a son of Africa. If you are no more, would you be remembered? And what would you be remembered for? You can make a lot of money. A lot of people are making money living on this earth. They are gone. Even in the families where they come from. And ask yourself, Ibrahim Traoré is doing his to be remembered. What are you doing to be remembered. So if your own is just taking the filming, then that is your own part to also contribute. Make sure it goes wide. If you see this video, don't see it as just a video that we are talking. See it as a call, as a revolutionary message that is not only going to ring today, but awaken the minds of the next generation that will be coming after us. And I say this, we shouldn't be intimidated or be afraid of the imperial tactics and threats, because we are breaking away from the shackles of imperialism. And that is what Ibrahim Traoré is doing. Ibrahim Traoré is within the ages of us, 30 to 35, 37 years. And today, the whole world is mentioning his name. Why? Because he's living his life as a real African. A lot of people are putting cameras on Raf. Why? Because I have understood who I am and know where I am going. My responsibility of my existence. And I want the youth of Africa to begin to understand the existence and the purpose it is for them to be living now. The wealth of the new generation, what we are going to leave behind the next generation that will be coming after us. So when I say that the fear of dying for your country is the acceptance of your colonialism, that is what it means. I have come to understand that death is just a transition from this physical life to the spiritual life. That we all will taste one day, but we have a responsibility to play a role, to give life and hope back to the next generation that will be taking after us. And we shouldn't disappoint them. Ibrahim Traoré is not doing anything new. He's just living as a son of the land.
Well, finally, as you've talked about the next generation, we've got young people in schools, in primary and that. Some of these things they wouldn't understand. All that they see is a couple of young, maybe older people demonstrating about what's going on in Burkina Faso. What would you be saying to these children of us, the next generation, to be able to understand that this is their soil, this is their home, and it is time for them to be able to possess? We need to be able to get the education to go further and beyond what our age group are talking about, but rather to take it down to the classrooms, to our young year 3, year 4, class 3, class 5. What are we going to be saying to them as a message of hope?
We are not going to say anything for them as a message of hope. We are only going to leave the template for them to come and see. We have lived it. We are talking it. We are going to leave the history for them to come and see it. You see, one thing is that we don't own even the internet that we are all chasing today. One day we'll wake up and the internet is shut, and all this history will be erased. But then when you visit Burkina today, even on these grounds that we stand today, was a day that Corporal Tipo, Sergeant Odate Lamte, them rose up to fight for their rights. And the history is not what we are seeing on the internet, but the history is where we are standing now. Reality. So when we come and see the roads, when we come and see the good schools, when we come and see the good drinking water, when we see the electricity running for 365 days, that is the history. And the next generation will remember that some people actually did something for us. That is why we are seeing the light today. That is why we are riding on good roads. That is why we can sit in good classrooms. That is why we can hit our hand on our chest and say we are black people, not just living somewhere and calling ourselves African Americans, white Africans. It is sickening. That does not speak of the history we want to leave behind. The history that we want to leave behind is the templates of what Ibrahim Traoré is leaving behind. The young people of Africa will come and see it, and not only be read, they will see the realities on the ground when you visit Burkina. When you visit Bamako today, you will see the reality. When you visit Ouagadougou today, you will see the reality. And that is what we want to see across Africa. So this is a call to those that call themselves leaders of Africa. They should start acting indeed as leaders of the land, sons and children of the land, and leave that legacy that won't only be posted on social media, be posted on the internet that we don't control, but will leave a mark on the soil where we find ourselves, and the history will speak for itself. We are remembering who we are. We are transitioning from wherever we started from. Like I've always been saying, that they need to accept the generation now or be ready for the consequences of the new revolution.
Thank you very much. Guys, let's do a favor, okay? By sharing this and posting your message.
United Africa now! Power to Africa.
I'm a Sudanese. Sure. But before being a Sudanese, I'm an African.
Definitely. Good brother.
African
That
first.
is the prerequisite.
We are not having countries, but we have a continent, which is an Africa. Africa is our homeland. Africa is our country. We are all Burkina Fasos. We are all Ibrahim Traorés.
Yes. Yeah.
And we are all Sudanese. We are all Ghanaian.
Sure. Yes.
Please, I'm standing before you guys here to just raise an awareness that what is going on in Sudan is really need your voice. Sudan needs your voice more than ever. I know a lot of you are witnesses. People are dying every single day, more than 1,000. Most of Sudanese fled and forced to leave their hometowns and live in a different countries, such as Kenya, South Sudan, Egypt, Chad, and continue to here in Ghana. Please, comrade, let us raise our voice and demand our voice to be heard as soon as possible. Sudanese people need your voice. Sudanese people need a peace. Sudanese people need to stay in Sudan, not in a different land. Sudan is belong to an African. Sudan is belong to a Sudanese. Please, comrades, I know today we are standing here to raise our voice as African, but bear with me and take a moment and watch what is going on in Sudan past about a decade. I'm here more than 10 years. I feel myself an African. I don't feel myself as a Sudanese. I feel myself an a Ghanaian. I feel myself an Burkina Faso. I feel myself as a Nigerian. Please, this is my message to the international community and humanitarian organizations to intervene or to come in to see the situation of Sudan and also force their strong diplomacy to end this war, which a Sudanese innocent are paying the price of this war. Kids are dying, women are being raped, aged people are dying, and most people are forced to leave the hometown. I am here, urge international community to come in, women humanitarian organization to come in, and you as a comrade every single day to raise a voice of a Sudanese and Burkina Faso. Thank you so much.
For Ibrahim Traoré. I am one of the slaves that was taken to America. We have witnessed the murder of Malcolm X. We have witnessed the murder of Martin Luther King. We have witnessed the exile of Marcus Garvey. We have witnessed the murder of Fred Hampton. We have witnessed the murder of Huey P. Newton. And now the conditions in America is an almost post-apocalyptic condition of when everybody who has ever stood up has been murdered. And now the same government has now put the same order on Ibrahim Traoré. When General Langley got on TV and said Ibrahim Traoré is a danger to the people of Burkina Faso and we need to go over there and save the people of Burkina Faso from Ibrahim Traoré. Who is he? That is a kill order. That is the same message that they put out on Muammar Gaddafi before they toppled Libya. And now the women in Libya, just like Sudan, are being raped. And the children are being sold in slave markets. And now Donald Trump got on a meeting just the other day and said even if we wanted to go into Libya, we can't because the situation has collapsed so bad, there is no more Libya. That is what the Western media has said. And that is what they want to do to Burkina Faso. Do not look and say this is Burkina Faso. It has nothing to do with Ghana. Because if they collapse Burkina Faso, it will spill over into Ghana. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah.
So this is a test from God for everybody.
That's truth.
Because when Kwame and Nkrumah came, we are humans. We make mistakes, but we allowed the West to turn us against a Sasebo. And we danced on top of his broken statues. And we celebrated when he was overthrown. He was all over the continent building what we know as the Casablanca Group, which was a Pan-African group, the first group to say United Africa now. And they put the Moravian group to say, in the least time possible. Well, 60 years have passed, and now Ibrahim Traoré says time to continue what Thomas Sankara started, and they say, oh, not yet, not yet, not yet. We see that the Casablanca group was right, and the Moravian group was wrong.
Yeah.
It is time for us to right our errors and our wrongs.
Yes.
There is plenty of reason for us to take this personal. Because Kwame Nkrumah is watching us right now.
Right now.
Yes. And he said, if you want to be free as Ghanaians, show me that you have changed.
Yes. Right now.
From the West.
Yes.
But are we ready?
That's the question.
Are we ready? Do we have control of our resources? Do we have sovereignty over our land? Or will the people continue to come and say, Africa's not ready yet? Maybe everything that the West and all of the narratives that the West has put out about Africa is true. We have to write our own story. Yes. We have to tell our own narratives so that diasporians will want to come back here. Plumbers, builders, infrastructure, people that would invest in the different sectors. They want to come, but they see the wars and they say, are we ready? They see what's going on in Ivory Coast with the Ivory Coast president training jihadists to go into Burkina Faso and overthrow Ibrahim Traoré.
Babylon.
In the West, Babylon uses these things to keep people from coming back and helping to build the continent. Let us show the world that we are ready for repatriation and that we are ready for the diasporians to come home. Tell these Babylonians to get out so we can make room for our people to come back. I am a slave that was taken 400 years ago. And I have returned. And more of us is coming. Let us show them that they are coming back to something. Something better than imperialism. Something better than subjugation. Something better than slavery, which is all we have in America. Yes! Show them that we're building something here in Africa that they can't get anywhere else in the diaspora. In the words of Marcus Garvey, Africa for Africans! Africa for Africans! Africa for Africans! Africa for Africans! Ashe!
Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I the First once said that throughout history it has been the inaction of those who did not act, the indifference of those who should have known better, and the voice of silence when it mattered most that has made it possible for evil to triumph. As you see our numbers here, we could have been thousands more. But it's you who have taken the call, heeded the call to come and support Ibrahim Traoré. Africa has been pregnant for a long time, waiting to deliver these babies, and now she's delivered Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and there's more to come. Am I right? Yes. Is there more to come? Yes. So, from Food Sovereignty Ghana, there's a war going on our plates, and the man who inspired the upright people in Burkina Faso, Capt.Ibrahim Thomas Noel Sankara, said that imperialism begins on your plate. We have to save our seeds. The food that we're eating now is almost being controlled. So Food Sovereignty Ghana's message is that we support the revolution that's going on with Ibrahim Traoré. We support the return of dignity to African people. Long live Ibrahim Traoré. Long live all our liberation ancestors. Long live Africa. Thank you very much.
revolution begins from the minds of the people. And Africa, our revolution means that we need self-reliance. We need self-sufficiency. So right now, we should all know that when we live here, we are extending the revolution to our homes. We are standing for Africa. We are buying made in Ghana goods. We are acknowledging African products. This is the way we're going to make the revolution go higher. If we still love the white mountain and we buy it and we advance it and we display it, it will not take.
This time no way. This time no way.